my beautiful people. We started off our day with a nice breakfast at Dot Coffee. Goodbye, Kyoto. We're now off to Osaka. We've already sent our large luggages ahead of us, definitely coming back to Kyoto on future trips to Japan. Hello, Osaka. Our first stop was the HEP Ferris wheel. Great recommendation, Jessie. We got off the train and the first big red attraction got our attention, and we went for it to take a good look at the city. I know I'm editing these videos late, so this was back in January of 2025. The sky looks so gloomy and it was cold. But honestly, Kyoto was colder. I think the buildings help shield you from the wind. You could link your phone to their Bluetooth speakers in the carriage. And we had nice calming music while up thousands of feet off the ground. Look at the view of the city. Even without the sun, it is stunning. We got so lucky to nab a reservation at the Kirby Cafe in Osaka. My hubby was checking in on the one in Tokyo and just thought, hey, we're in Osaka. Why not try for the one in Osaka? And we got it. The food was definitely cute, but the quality was okay. We love some of the dishes and platters that we got them for ourselves and our family. Like this plate. Look how cute the food is. And this pizza board, since we make pizzas at home, this one was so cool. Definitely a vibe. The bread, of course, and this dessert was so cute, but the texture was not for me. Then, of course, we had to stop by the Pokemon Center here in the same building. We had to check out the famous Dotonbori in Osaka. We walked through the Shotengai, and it was so bright, it felt like day during the night. There's so many shops and stalls open. But we were looking for specific places that were highly recommended across social media. Here, we are standing at the bridge, seeing the biggest Don Quixote in Osaka with a literal Ferris wheel on the side of the building. You can see the river and the cruise boats that you can travel by and have a tour of Dotonbori by boat. Here is the famous electronic billboards with the Running Man. This is one of the stalls highly recommended. We got the karage and takoyaki. The stall next to it had grilled squid, and they gave us a discount if we ate in their store. I had to get grilled wagyu. Look at that work of art. It was so delicious. Look at him presenting the food. It was definitely a deserved presentation. They had so many shops and restaurants on the Shotengai next to the Dotonbori, including arcades like this one. And that concludes day 1 in Osaka. Day 2, we spent the entire day in Universal Studios and just enjoyed ourselves. Now, we only had a few things planned for day 3 in Osaka, since we've been on our feet all day yesterday. I definitely recommend getting the Fast Pass on the Universal Studios Japan online app and being able to get a time slot for the rides. This morning, we started the day off by heading to the Osaka Castle. Such a cultural structure in the center of a modern and sleek city. The castle grounds were huge. Even just walking up to the gate was a long way to go. Just look at the bricks making up the bridge and the castle wall. They're huge. It was as if the castle was made for giants. Look at how tiny the people look walking through the gates. We're finally heading into the castle grounds. The funniest thing happened here. There was a couple who was very intrigued with the way I looked. I had on my white hair and an arm tattoo on display, not completely because it was cold, but still visible. And they were excited to see someone like me, that they asked if they could take a photo with me. I'm very socially awkward, but I did agree to the request. And it was nice knowing they loved my vibe. That's the core memory I'll remember at the Osaka castle. Arigato! We're up high above the clouds at Haruka's Observatory 300. Another city view from above the clouds on this gloomy day. This was definitely a much higher view than the Ferris wheel. But the fog of the clouds kind of hide away the city the further out you look. Definitely don't look down at the glass floor if you're afraid of heights. Just another side of the building looking at the city. It was nice, kind of taking a break from walking so much and just looking out at the city, taking our time to enjoy the view and a well-deserved rest. They had an open area at the top of the building that you can step out to and enjoy the outside fresh air. But it was definitely super cold in January, and they even had rental kotatsus, which we didn't partake in, but I would recommend. We did enjoy a sweet treat at the cafe. It came with their mascot on top. Look at how cute it is. Now, on our way down, I think the top level was 60 or 61, but we have to walk down to the 59th floor to take the elevator all the way down to the 16th floor, which then we could take another elevator down to the ground floor. Look at how fast the elevator is going to get us down. Whoa, look at the cool light show on the way down. It's like a laser show. I don't remember how it was on the way up. Sometimes I forget to record because I'm too busy enjoying the moment and just taking it all in. Or, on the flip side, I'm too tired and lazy. Shh, don't judge me. We're at Zhao Fish, where you can choose what type of fish from their set to fish for, and they will prepare it for you the way you'd like. We got to sit on the top of the boat like seat tables. Here, off the side of the boat, we hooked a piece of shrimp and caught the fish. My hubby was holding the net, ready to catch the fish that I caught. The set course came with a few extras. Of course, sushi, some tempura, and we requested our fish to be made into sashimi. So fresh. Ending the night with a nice night stroll in the rain. Okay, I didn't know it was gonna rain, but we had already booked the Team Lab Botanical Garden experience and just went for it. Luckily, they gave us ponchos and we did buy the clear umbrellas from the kombini. These trees were kind of interactive and the lights shined when we were standing near. I believe this exhibit only opens during the night for this reason, because it is essentially a light show. You can see how they get brighter when we walk closer to them. Out of all the Team Lab exhibits, this one was kind of my least favorite, but it could have been because of the rain. The colors of the light show weren't as vibrant as they were online. But then again, social media can make things look much better than they are. It was definitely an interesting attraction and did have some interactive exhibits. I would recommend it on a night stroll. No rain and just a cool breeze. I think these egg-shaped things were supposed to change color as you tapped or pushed them. But to be honest, I wasn't sure. See? Look, it changed when I pushed it. Or was it always going to change at this time? Can someone else who's been here confirm or deny this? I'm glad we got to see some of the flowers in the dark. They're so beautiful. This trippy wall display art projection was one of the attractions featured heavily online. A larger but puffy egg. Must go push. This was the most fun we've had at the exhibit. Look at this man being so cheesy. And I'm all here for it. I wonder if there's a story behind these projections. Humanoid animals dressed in traditional, back in the Edo period clothing. It kind of reminds me of the old Chinese shadow play movement. They look as if they are astral projections of spirits moving through the forest in a ritual fashion. Ending with the floating lanterns light display on the water. It was definitely a calm and cool night stroll with a light show twist. If that's your vibe, definitely recommend. Good morning. On our last day in Osaka, we're headed to the fish market, the Kuromon Ichiba market. Just like the Nishiki market in Kyoto, this was the famous fish market in Osaka. A definite must visit. I love seeing how similar and different each fish market is. It was a bit more crowded than expected, but I'm assuming it was because of the Lunar New Year vacation. Of course, we had to do our once over by walking from one end of the fish market to the other end. Noting which ones had the food we wanted, the prices we liked, and wasn't as busy as the rest of them. Or maybe busier, because the more busy they are, the probability their food is top-notch is high. I'm a firm believer in love at first sight. So, if there's something that catches my eye, it was meant to be. That's how I met my husband. I know, I'm cheesy too. Deal with it. I always recommend coming to these touristy areas like the fish market earlier in the morning as they open. So not only do you get the freshest food, but you'll also beat the crowds. And if it's this crowded now, wait until a bit later when it really fills in. We went back to the stalls that called to us, starting off with some takoyaki, gyoza, bluefin tuna, which wasn't the fattiest, but it did the job, oyster, and wagyu. fried tempura, sweet potato with butter, shrimp tempura udon, and karage. All beautiful treats during a cold winter's day to warm you up. Or maybe it's just food. I love food. Strawberries in Japan are elite. If you disagree, fight me. We were hunting for some chocolate-covered strawberries, but settled for a crepe with strawberries, which was still delicious, don't get me wrong, but we were craving those chocolate-covered strawberries. I don't know what they do to them, but they are so addictive to no end. Definitely recommend getting a crepe when in Japan. They're a must-try as well. This was my husband's first time driving internationally. Side note, as an American, we just went to our local AAA branch, paid around, I think, $30 for the international license. They can even take your passport photo size photos there if you don't bring them. You do need them for your international license. I forgot how much they charged for it, but it wasn't that expensive. The international license lasts for a whole year starting from the issue date. So if you plan on driving in more than one country that permits the international license as a driving permit, then it basically pays for itself. We rented a car at Nippon Rent-A-Car for about 8 hours for the day. We drove out of the city and to Minnow Falls. Even during this time of year, there's still some greenery and running water. Definitely a bit of a hike up and down to see the waterfall, but worth the trip. Again, this trip was back in January, so definitely dead trees make sense. It is winter after all. It wasn't very steep, and the paved roads made it so that the walk up and down the trail wasn't so bad. It took approximately 45 minutes to an hour one way to reach the waterfall. Of course, that also depends on your speed. Make sure to wear the right shoes, otherwise you will regret it. Even during the winter, the area was still so beautiful. I forgot to mention, there is a parking lot up near the entrance to Minnow Falls. It is paid parking, but very easily accessible. There are a few rural-feeling shops and stalls around the trail where they sell food and souvenirs. It was so nice and serene. And there it is, the Minnow Waterfall. We got to try some grilled fish, living our anime dreams, or as they did back in the old period of Asia. I couldn't skip the dango, but was so disappointed when I found out they just microwaved it. The sausage was like the one from the konbini with ketchup, of course. It was worth the drive and hike to see the sights. Now, we're returning the car back. It was such an easy process. I would recommend Nippon Rent-A-Car, which was coincidentally next to Nipponbashi, which is also known as Denden Town, which is basically Osaka's anime area like Akihabara is to Tokyo. Ending our last night in Osaka with a stroll through the city and just taking in the last moments before heading off to the next stop in our Japan honeymoon tour. Sometimes I forget it's a honeymoon tour since our friends are there. Osaka is a beautiful city with modern structures, cultural areas, and just wonderful people. I would recommend about 2 to 3 days here, including a day to spend at Universal Studios Japan. But anything more, and it is just elongating the time. We did take the extra day to spread out more of our itinerary to give our feet a bit of a rest, since we've been going at it so hard from the beginning in Kyoto. The extra time during the days in between helped us get back on the grind, but you don't need it if you're fit and able-bodied. Our next stop, Nara. Hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one. Goodbye, Osaka. Thanks for watching.